back again with another video, and today we are going to be talking about excuse me, two functions of Excel. One is the conditional count and the other is the conditional sum. Essentially what these do is, in case of the conditional count, it counts the number of cells provided a certain condition is met. The sum, if what it does is it adds up a certain cells provided a certain condition is met. Now there are two variants to both of these, so two variants each. There's the count if and the count ifs. The count if can handle one condition, the count ifs can handle multiple conditions. So if you only want to add cells, if you want to count the cells based on a certain condition being true, you can use count if. But if you want to count the number of cells based on the fact that certain, more than one condition is true, then you have to use the count ifs. Now for one condition you can use count if or count ifs, but for more than one you have to use the count ifs. Similarly, if you want to add up the contents of a cell, range of cells based on a certain condition being true, you use a sum if. If you want to add up the contents of a range of cells, if a certain range of conditions, more than one condition is true, you use the sum ifs. Now if you have only one condition, you can use sum if and sum ifs interchangeably. But if you have more than one condition, then you have to use the sum ifs. Okay, now let's see how we would actually implement that or use those in our spreadsheets. Now this is the same data sheet that we had for the demonstration of pivot tables and dashboard, a video that I had uploaded some time back. We're going to be using the same data sheet. Essentially what this is you've got your customers who are buying certain fast food or restaurant items from you. There you've got the revenue that's coming in, you've got the salesperson, the sales area, and the sales are going through certain specific dealers. Now say for example we want to just count the number of sales, not the value, the number of sales. Just count the sales that are coming out of the Greenwich Village, in the lower west side of Lower Manhattan. So what we'll do is we will use the count if formula and just count how many times does Greenwich appear in this column. Okay, so let's see how we would be actually implementing that. So you go into now once you start typing count it gives you the two options, count if and count ifs. Now it gives you a hint, counts the number of cells within a range that meet the given condition. So you can only have one condition. If you use count ifs, counts the number of cells specified by a given set of conditions. So you can have more than one condition, and if you have more than one condition you can use these two interchangeably. And if you have just one condition, then if you have only one condition, you can use them interchangeably. But if you have more than one condition, then you have to use the count ifs. Okay, so if you have only one condition, like I said, you can use it interchangeably, and therefore the result of both those functions need to be the same. So let's first do the count if, use that. Now it's telling you asking you for the range and the criteria. So the range would be the sales area, and the criteria within parentheses is Greenwich. So it's telling you there are 9 sales coming out of Greenwich. Let's go back here and let's see. Sure enough, 9 sales. But here we were lucky because these were actually sorted by the sales area. Supposing they were not, then it would be very difficult for us to manually count. Whereas this count if formula, the function, it does it for us. Now let's implement the same using count ifs. And like I said, you can see now it's telling you the criteria range 1, the criteria is going to say criteria range 2, criteria range 3, and then the criteria. So you can have multiple, but right now we're only doing one. So the result of both the count if and the count ifs should be the same. So let's give it the criteria range 1 is the sales area, and the criteria 1 is Greenwich. There you go. So both cases you got 9. Now over here, let's see if we want to count the number of sales coming out of the village, the Greenwich village, which is handled by the dealer, let's see, Billy the Kid, for example. Now, all of a sudden, you have two conditions. Now you cannot use the count if. You have to use the count ifs because the number of conditions that you have is more than one. So let's just edit that and let's put in a criteria range 2. Let's go here. Criteria range 2 will be the dealers column, and then Billy the Kid 1. Now if you go back here and you see, sure enough, out of these 9, only one sale is handled by Billy the Kid dealer. So that's how you would use the count if or the count ifs, the conditional count based on conditions. Now supposing what you want to do is you want to add up the revenue coming out of the Greenwich village. So here what we are doing is we are adding up the revenues from each dealer or each location. So we will be using the sum if function, and we'll be, to start with, we'll only use one condition. Now because we're only using one condition, we can use sum if or sum ifs interchangeably. Now if we were to use multiple conditions, then we would have to go with the sum ifs. Let's see how we would actually do this. Now if I just type this sum and give you sum if as the cells specified by a given condition, or as the cells given by a set of conditions. So let's go with this first. Now first what we do is it's asking for the range and the criteria. Now the range is sales area. The criteria is it needs to be Greenwich village. Okay, and what does it says sum range. So what is adding up? We are adding up the revenue in close bracket. So it's telling you that 4.15 or 16 million is the sales coming out of Greenwich, out of those 9 locations. Now if we were to do the same, implement the same thing using sum ifs, the result needs to be the same. All right, so the sum range is the revenue, the criteria range. Now here the only difference is in sum ifs you put the sum range first and then the criteria and the criteria range and the criteria. In sum if you put the criteria range and the sum range afterwards. So the sum range is the revenue, criteria range 1 is the sales area, and the condition is Greenwich village. So you've got the let's give it a same. So you've basically essentially what has happened is it has come up with the same answer. But now supposing you want to add up the sales coming out of the Greenwich village area, but also only handled by Billy the Kid dealer. If you just want to be looking at Greenwich village and handled by Billy the Kid. So what we do is we will add another condition here. We go here, Billy the Kid, 628.6 million, and if you see here, Billy the Kid gives you 0.628 million, and all the Greenwich sales is 4.19 million, which is this guy here. So that's essentially how you would be using the conditional count and the conditional if. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe. And if you have any comments, please put them in the comment section below. Thank you.